Do you ever wonder why your mind feels tired even before the day begins? Why you can't focus for more than 10 seconds without grabbing your phone? Why silence feels heavier than noise, almost like it's judging you? You've been trained to react, not to think. Every sound, every ping, every flashing screen tells you what deserves your attention, and you obey. You scroll through other people's lives trying to drown the quiet voice inside your head that whispers, "You've lost control." But here's the truth. You're not lazy. You're overloaded. The world has buried your clarity under layers of stimulation and opinions. You wake up chasing movement, mistaking activity for progress, noise for purpose. Your focus bleeds out 1,000 tiny cuts at a time, and no one notices because everyone else is bleeding too. Then one day you pause, just a few seconds. The silence feels wrong at first, too empty, too honest. But stay there. That discomfort you feel, that's your mind trying to remember who's in charge. Beneath the chaos, you still exist. Beneath the endless notifications, there's a mind that was built to command, not to obey. This is where the shift begins. Not by adding more goals, but by subtracting what weakens you. Learn to observe before you move. Listen before you speak. Think before you react. Power doesn't come from speed, it comes from control. If this message found you at the right moment, stay. Subscribe and let's rebuild your focus one silent breath at a time. When was the last time you actually stopped, completely stopped, and did nothing? No scrolling, no music, no background noise to keep you company. Do you even remember what your own mind sounds like anymore? Most people don't. They're terrified of silence because silence forces them to face what distraction hides: regret, exhaustion, insecurity. You've filled your life with constant movement to avoid a single terrifying truth. You've forgotten how to be still. You call it productivity, but it's really escape. You chase stimulation the way an addict chases another hit. You don't want quiet because quiet reveals everything you've buried under the noise. But here's the irony. The peace you're chasing can't live in motion. It only shows up when you pause. When you stop reacting to the world's chaos, the fog starts to lift. The anxiety doesn't disappear, it transforms into awareness. You start to notice patterns: who drains you, what triggers you, why you keep running. Stillness becomes your microscope. It won't feel good at first. Your body will rebel. Your mind will scream for distraction. But if you endure it, if you sit through that inner storm, you'll realize that silence isn't empty. It's full of answers the noise was too loud to let you hear. Every powerful person you've ever admired mastered one thing: restraint. The ability to pause before acting. The strength to wait before speaking. The discipline to think before reacting. If this truth hits something deep inside you, stay close. Subscribe and let's walk the path of silence together, where calm isn't weakness, it's command. Why do you rush to answer every message the second it appears? Why does waiting make your chest tighten like you're losing control? Why do you mistake speed for power, when in truth it's the trap that keeps you predictable? Impatience has become the modern disease. You want results, clarity, validation now. You can't stand the pause between cause and effect. You fill it with noise, with movement, with empty activity. But every time you react too soon, you trade control for comfort. You give away your advantage just to silence the anxiety of not knowing. The powerful, the disciplined, the strategic, they understand something you've forgotten. Timing decides everything. A decision made too early is weakness. A reaction made too late is regret. Real power moves in rhythm, not impulse. When you learn to delay, to wait, to let silence stretch longer than comfort allows, something strange happens. Others begin to reveal themselves. Their emotions, their motives, their impatience. While they rush, you collect information. While they burn out, you sharpen your edge. The pause isn't absence, it's preparation. Every second of restraint gathers momentum behind you like a wave. And when you finally move, the world feels it. That's what makes the patient dangerous. They strike once, and it's final. So ask yourself, how many mistakes were born from your need to react first? How many victories could have been yours if you just waited? If you're ready to master the art of timing, to move with precision, not panic, stay close, subscribe, and let's learn the silence between action and advantage together. Why do certain people always know how to get under your skin? Why do a few words, a single tone, make your blood boil before you even think? Why do you keep giving your peace away to people who don't deserve a reaction? They've learned something about you, that your emotions are a switch and all they have to do is press it. One insult, one accusation, one subtle dig wrapped in a joke, and there you go defending, explaining, losing control in public while they watch with quiet satisfaction. You think you're standing up for yourself, but you're really performing for their amusement. That's how power leaks, not through weakness, but through predictability. Every time you react, you confirm who's in control. Every time you explain, you surrender ground. They don't need to defeat you. They just need to make you flinch. But imagine this: they insult you and you don't move. No expression, no tension, just calm. The silence between you becomes heavier than words. Their confidence cracks because the game only works if you play. When you stop feeding it, they starve. That's emotional discipline, the art of keeping your energy sovereign. The most powerful person in any room isn't the loudest. It's the one who doesn't rise to provocation, who watches while others unravel. Because control isn't about never feeling, it's about never being ruled by what you feel. If you've ever lost yourself in anger and promised never again, this is your moment. Stay close, subscribe, and let's master the calm that no one can manipulate. Have you noticed how loud people get when they're scared of being ignored? How some talk endlessly, not to communicate but to fill the silence that exposes them. And how the more noise they make, the less you actually believe them. Most people don't speak to be understood, they speak to hide. They drown you in stories, opinions, and drama because silence terrifies them. In quiet, truth echoes too loudly. But if you stop reacting, if you just watch patterns start to appear, you begin to see the cracks behind the confidence, the fear behind the bragging, the desperation hiding under their smiles. Observation is a form of X-ray vision, the ability to see what people are really saying when their mouths won't stop moving. You don't need to out-talk anyone. You only need to outwatch them. In every conversation, power belongs to the listener, the one who doesn't rush to fill the pause, the one who notices tone, breath, hesitation. You'd be amazed how much people confess when you simply refuse to interrupt. Their ego does the rest for you. Silence is not passivity, it's information. Every second you spend listening builds a map of who's honest, who's weak, who's dangerous. And that knowledge makes you untouchable, because once you can read people, they can't deceive you. So next time you're surrounded by noise, do nothing, just observe. Watch how quickly the masks slip when you stop feeding attention. If you want to learn how to see what others miss, to turn silence into your strongest weapon, stay close. Subscribe and let's train your eyes to hear what words can't hide. Have you ever noticed how some people drain you without saying a word? How their presence pulls at your peace, demanding a reaction, a defense, a rise. How they seem to know exactly which buttons to press just to make you lose balance. These are emotional predators. Not always out of malice, but out of hunger. They feed on reaction. They test your patience not because they want conflict, but because chaos gives them power. And every time you respond with anger, explanation, or frustration, you hand them control. You give them access to your energy, your calm, your center. But what happens when you stop giving it? When you look at them, steady, expressionless, unshaken, and mirror their energy back, they crumble. Because manipulation cannot survive in reflection. The moment you stop dancing to their rhythm, their mask slips. They start questioning themselves instead of you. That's the rule of the mirror. You don't absorb chaos, you return it. You let them see themselves raw and unfiltered. You don't have to attack. You don't have to prove. Just reflect. Your silence becomes a mirror so sharp it cuts through pretense. People expect you to react. When you don't, you disturb the script. You become unreadable, and unreadable means untouchable. Calm is no longer peace. It's power disguised as grace. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, stand firm. Let them drown in their own reflection while you remain still water. If this struck something deep, if you're ready to stop being drained and start being dangerous in your calm, stay close. Subscribe and let's master the mirror together. How many times have you moved too fast, spoke too soon, trusted too early, acted before thinking, and paid the price later? How many chances have you destroyed because you couldn't wait just a little longer? How many times did you mistake urgency for importance and ended up giving away your power for free? The truth is, most people lose, not because they're weak, but because they move too early. They act from impulse, not intention. They confuse momentum with mastery. But real power doesn't chase opportunity. It engineers timing. The disciplined wait, not because they're scared, but because they understand rhythm. They know every storm runs out of rain, every rush burns itself out. And when the noise fades, the field clears for those who watched quietly from the shadows. The impatient sprint, the strategic walk. The ruler waits until others reveal their hands, then moves once with precision so sharp it looks effortless. Patience is not passive, it's pressure waiting for the right second to strike. The weak fear the pause, the wise use it as a weapon. When you move with timing, the world bends. People mistake your calm for luck, your silence for absence. But you're not gone. You're watching, calculating, preparing. And when you finally act, the impact feels inevitable. So before your next reaction, your next word, your next move, pause. Ask yourself, is this power or is this panic? If you're ready to master the rhythm of restraint, to replace reaction with strategy, stay close. Subscribe and let's learn the patience that turns timing into dominance. How many times have you been your own worst enemy? How many moments have you ruined because anger, fear, or pride took the wheel before your logic did? How many times have you looked back and thought, I knew better, but I lost control anyway? That storm inside you, it's not evil, it's energy. You just never learned how to steer it. Most people spend their lives either exploding or suppressing burning bridges or burying emotions until they rot. But power isn't about killing what you feel. It's about commanding it. The fire that destroys can also forge. The storm that drowns can also cleanse. You decide which it becomes. When anger rises, don't fight it. Study it. Watch where it comes from, who triggers it, what fear it's hiding. When anxiety tightens your chest, don't run. Listen to what it's warning you about. Every emotion is data raw intelligence from your subconscious. The undisciplined mind reacts. The powerful mind redirects. You can use chaos as fuel if you stop letting it drive. Imagine mastering your inner weather rage, becoming focus fear, becoming foresight pain, becoming precision. That's what emotional control really means, not numbness, but transmutation. The ability to take what hurts and turn it into movement. Because the truth is, the world doesn't break you. You break yourself when you lose command inside. And once you learn to stay calm in your own storm, no external chaos can touch you again. If this hits something you've been fighting quietly, stay. Subscribe, and let's turn your storm into strength. One controlled breath at a time. How many times have you been told to stay calm, but inside you were falling apart? How many times have you forced a smile while your mind was screaming? How often have you looked composed on the outside but felt like you were bleeding on the inside? You've mastered survival, not serenity. You've learned how to appear strong, not how to be strong. And that's the quiet pain no one sees, the exhaustion of holding everything together so the world never suspects you're tired. But calm isn't the absence of feeling. It's the discipline of not letting those feelings speak for you. When chaos hits, most people broadcast it. They panic publicly. They let fear leak from their faces, voices, and decisions. But power, real power, moves differently. It doesn't announce itself. It stays silent until silence becomes unbearable for everyone else. The calm person in a storm terrifies those who depend on noise. Because composure signals control, and control attracts respect. You don't owe the world a reaction. You don't have to defend yourself every time you're misunderstood. You don't have to prove your worth by raising your voice. Sometimes the quietest response says, "Everything, I'm still in charge." That's the mask of calm, not deception, but strategy. The art of using restraint as armor. When people can't read you, they can't manipulate you. So the next time life shakes the ground under you, breathe slower. Let them guess what you're thinking. Let them feel your steadiness and mistake it for mystery. If you're ready to turn composure into authority to master the silence that commands attention, stay close, subscribe, and let's build your calm until nothing can disturb it again. How many times have you felt underestimated, watched others take credit while you stayed quiet? How many times have you wanted to prove your worth, to show them what you're capable of, but held back because something in you whispered, "Not yet"? And how many times have you wondered if silence makes you weak when deep down you know it's the only thing keeping your power intact? You don't need the spotlight to win. You don't need to announce your plans or seek validation to make them real. The most dangerous moves are the ones no one sees coming. While others shout their goals and expose their strategies, you build in private. You plant seeds where no one's watching. And by the time they notice, it's too late. Your foundation is already unshakable. Silence is not hiding, it's strategizing. The hunter doesn't roar before the strike. The architect doesn't brag before the tower stands. Power built in noise collapses with the next opinion. Power built in silence endures. The world trains you to broadcast everything, your pain, your process, your progress. But the truth is simple: when they don't know what you're building, they can't destroy it. Mystery protects momentum. Restraint protects results. Let them think you're passive. Let them mistake your quiet for absence. Because when you move, you'll move once, and it will echo louder than their constant noise ever could. If you've been quietly working, quietly evolving, quietly preparing for your moment, this is your reminder: stay silent, stay sharp, stay patient. And if this message feels like it was meant for you, stay close. Subscribe, and let's master the art of invisible power together. How many times have you exhausted yourself trying to be seen? How often have you over-explained, overworked, or overgave just to prove your worth, only to feel invisible anyway? How much of your energy has been wasted on noise that didn't matter? Most people live like leaky vessels, pouring themselves into every conversation, every conflict, every meaningless task, hoping someone will notice the effort. They confuse motion with progress and attention with respect. But the truth is, brutal power drains through excess. Every unnecessary word, every impulsive reaction, every wasted hour is a tiny surrender of control. The disciplined mind moves differently. It measures every gesture, every sentence, every step. It doesn't chase visibility, it builds gravity. When you operate with precision, people start leaning in without realizing why. Your silence becomes tension. Your restraint becomes authority. The world can't ignore what it can't predict. Efficiency isn't cold, it's intelligent compassion. It means refusing to waste what's sacred: your focus, your time, your emotional bandwidth. You start doing less, but everything you do carries weight. One sentence replaces 10. One move ends the argument. One decision shifts the entire board. Stop bleeding energy into what doesn't serve you. Stop proving. Stop performing. The real ones will recognize value in your calm execution. The rest were never your audience. You don't need to speak louder, you need to act cleaner. Power doesn't announce itself. It accumulates quietly until presence alone becomes proof. If this message hits the part of you that's tired of overextending and ready to move with precision, stay close. Subscribe and let's rebuild your strength by doing less, but meaning more. How many times have you let people too close only to watch them twist what they learned about you into weapons? How many times have your secrets, your kindness, your openness been used against you? How many lessons did it take before you realized not everyone deserves access to you? You've been taught that closeness equals connection, that honesty equals trust, that love means full exposure. But here's the truth: no one told you access is currency. The more of yourself you give away, the cheaper your presence becomes. The world doesn't always respect transparency. It exploits it. And the people who demand to know everything about you rarely intend to protect it. Distance isn't cold, it's control. It's knowing when to step back before familiarity breeds disrespect. It's protecting your peace from those who confuse availability with weakness. A powerful person doesn't let everyone sit at their table. They choose who earns proximity, who deserves attention, who gets silence instead of explanation. You are not obligated to be understood. You are obligated to stay aligned. Some people should only see the surface, never the structure. Some conversations aren't worth clarity, they're worth absence. Every boundary you hold is a line that tells the world I value myself enough to be selective. Let mystery do its work. Let your absence speak louder than your defense. Let people wonder what you're thinking instead of draining yourself to prove it. The right ones will respect your distance. The wrong ones will expose themselves by demanding it disappears. If you've ever been burned by overexposure and you're ready to protect your energy, like your life depends on it, it does stay close. Subscribe, and let's master the power of distance together. How many times have you sworn you'd stay calm, but the moment came and you broke again? How many times have you told yourself, this time I'll handle it differently, only to watch the same pattern repeat? And how many nights have you laid awake replaying the moment you lost control, knowing it wasn't them who beat you, but you who betrayed yourself? That's the quiet agony of self-awareness. You know better. But doing better takes more than knowing. It takes mastery. Every slip, every emotional collapse, every overreaction feels like failure. But it's not. It's a mirror. The cracks show you where the pressure builds, where you still hand over control without realizing it. Growth isn't clean. It's humiliating. It's watching yourself fall into old habits and having the courage to stand back up, not with guilt, but with clarity. The mistake isn't what breaks you. Denial is. Because once you admit your weakness, you can train it. Once you name your triggers, they stop being traps. Control isn't perfection, it's awareness under fire. It's being halfway through a reaction and choosing to stop mid-sentence. That pause, that's power being born. The moment you catch yourself before the damage, you're already rewriting your story. So stop hating the cracks. They're proof you're stretching beyond who you were. Power doesn't grow in silence, it grows in the space between your mistakes and your next decision. If you're done being ruled by reaction and ready to turn every failure into instruction, stay close. Subscribe, and let's rebuild your strength one controlled moment at a time. How many times have you said too much and instantly wished you could take the words back? How many moments have been ruined because you explained when silence would have said more? How many people have you warned, comforted, or confessed to, only to realize later they never deserved that access to your truth? We live in an age where everyone talks to prove they exist. Silence, on the other hand, feels like death to the ego. But silence is not weakness, it's weaponry. It's the art of forcing the world to wonder. When you speak less, your words start to carry weight. When you stop explaining yourself, you become unpredictable. And when you fall quiet in the middle of noise, you create power that demands attention without begging for it. People misunderstand silence because they crave validation. They talk to fill the discomfort of not being heard. But those who master silence don't chase understanding, they create mystery. Every time you hold back, you let others reveal themselves. The talkative expose, the quiet observe, and the one who observes always wins. Learn to let your stillness do the talking. Let rumors collapse on their own. Let accusations echo unanswered. Let your peace intimidate those who mistake noise for strength. Power doesn't argue, it watches, remembers, and acts when the moment is right. You don't need to prove what's already true. You just need the patience to let silence prove it for you. If this message touched that quiet part of you that's tired of defending your peace, stay close. Subscribe, and let's master the discipline of silence together, where calm becomes command. How many times have you reacted too soon and realized later you handed away your power? How many times have you felt that split-second urge to speak, to defend, to prove yourself, and afterward, all that was left was regret? How many times have you looked back and thought, if I had just waited one more moment, everything would have changed? Timing isn't luck, it's control. And most people don't lose because they're wrong. They lose because they move before the truth reveals itself. The mind races, the ego panics, the heart demands closure. But power is built in the seconds between impulse and action. That's where wisdom lives. The weak react from emotion. The strong move from calculation. They let silence breathe. Let others show their intentions. Let tension build until it bends to them. That pause, the uncomfortable gap everyone else rushes to fill, is your advantage. It's where chaos exposes itself, where the impatient self-destruct, and where clarity finds you. You don't need to be first to win. You need to be final. One action, one statement, one precise move made at the perfect time outweighs 100 rushed reactions. Waiting doesn't make you passive. It makes you accurate. Patience is a strategy. It's the difference between noise and impact, between regret and result. The longer you can sit in stillness without breaking, the more inevitable your success becomes. So next time you feel that surge to respond, pause. Let time work for you, not against you. If this truth cut close, if you're ready to master the calm that outlasts chaos, stay close. Subscribe and let's turn your patience into precision, one silent decision at a time. How many times have you finally gotten what you thought you wanted only to feel nothing? How many victories have felt hollow because you had to shout to be heard, fight to be seen, and beg to be respected? How many moments of peace have you lost, trying to prove to the world that you were enough? That's the quiet tragedy of modern life. We confuse being loud with being powerful. We chase validation instead of mastery. But the older you get, the more you realize true power is silent. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't beg to be recognized. It simply exists, calm and unshakable. You've spent years trying to win the noise. Now it's time to rule the silence. Because the moment you stop needing to be understood, you become untouchable. The world loses its grip on you. The opinions that used to control you start sounding small. The chaos that once distracted you starts to slow down. You begin to see the patterns, the games, the manipulation, and you no longer participate. You move differently. You respond less. You lead without demanding followers. That's what evolution feels like, not excitement, but stillness. The noise outside you fades because the war inside you is finally over. You don't rise by shouting louder. You rise by becoming so composed that the world adjusts to your rhythm. Calm isn't surrender. It's dominance without effort. If this message hit the part of you that's tired of fighting for peace, you're exactly where you need to be. Stay close, subscribe, and let's keep sharpening your silence until nothing can disturb it and everything starts to move around it.